People have wondered for ages if we're the only ones out here. The idea of aliens has always been around, with us looking at the stars and thinking about life on other planets. Well, it might not just be a thought anymore. The head of NASA recently said that the James Webb Space Telescope, which is our coolest tool for looking at space, spotted something amazing. They discovered life on a planet called Proxima B. This could shake up everything we thought we knew. Let's check out what the telescope found and what it could mean for us and for going out into space. The James Webb Space Telescope is a super cool piece of tech that can totally change how we see the universe. It's got the tech in perfect spot to let scientists look at stars, galaxies, and planets in ways we never thought possible. One cool thing about the Webb telescope is a big main mirror that's way bigger than the one on the Hubble telescope, which has been a big deal for space stuff for years. Because Webb's mirror is huge, it can even grab tiny bits of light from far, far away, even places other telescopes couldn't see. Before, scientists could only guess what might be out there. Now, with the Webb telescope, they can actually see those faraway things in space with great detail. Besides the big mirror, Webb also has instruments that can pick up all sorts of light. Something like the near-infrared camera, or NRCam, takes pictures using near-infrared light. That is helpful because infrared light can get through dust clouds, which usually block regular light. So, scientists can look deeper into space. With NRCam, astronomers can watch how stars form in galaxies. They're trying to check out the early universe, how galaxies started and changed, and find planets that other telescopes couldn't reach. Webb also has a near-infrared spectrograph, or NIR spec. It breaks down light from space into different colors. By doing that, scientists can figure out the temperature, speed, and what stuff makes up those objects. NIR spec helps them study stars and galaxies using the light they give off to figure out what elements are there and how things in space interact. It also helps us know how stars and galaxies live and die, from when they're born to how they change. Something the Webb does is study faraway galaxies whose light took billions of years to get here. By checking out the light from these galaxies, astronomers can tell how old they are, what they're made of, and learn secrets about how they changed over time. The mid-infrared instrument, or MIRI, is another tool that checks out longer wavelengths of infrared light. That helps us see things like stars, planets, and dusty areas where stars are just starting. MIRI lets astronomers check out planet atmospheres to see what they're made of, how hot they are, and if they might be able to support life. The spots in space where stars are born are super interesting. These thick clouds of dust and gas block light we can see, but infrared light can get through. Because of MIRI, scientists can watch stars and planets form, and study the stuff going on in these star nurseries. MIRI is also important for finding planets by spotting and checking out the faint infrared light from their atmospheres. That tells us important things about them. When looking for life on planets, the Webb telescope uses ways, like checking out how light interacts with a planet and seeing what's in its atmosphere. You do not always need plants or oxygen to find life signs. Spectroscopy is a big part of checking out planet atmospheres. When a planet passes in front of its star, Webb can watch the starlight pass through the planet's atmosphere. That leaves behind clues about what's in the atmosphere. Webb uses MIRI to check out the mid-infrared and NIR spec for the near-infrared. When starlight passes through an exoplanet's atmosphere, it tells us what the planet is made of. Scientists then use that to figure out the planet's atmosphere and climate. One thing Webb looks for is biomarkers, which are things like oxygen, methane, and water vapor that might point to life. Finding these doesn't mean anything by itself, though. Scientists need to do observation to see if the planet is suited for life and if there might be biological processes. Webb also uses comparative indicator spectroscopy, which helps in the search for life. By comparing light info from different planets, scientists can figure out if there is maybe life beyond Earth. The James Webb Space Telescope can spot clues of life in planet atmospheres, which is a huge step in the search for aliens. The combo of tech lets it see distant planets in detail that wasn't possible before. Every new thing we learn from these observations gives scientists more clues about if other worlds could have life. The Webb telescope also lets us see the earliest parts of the universe. It can grab light from galaxies that formed billions of years ago, so we get to study how the universe changed. These observations tell us a lot about how stars, planets, and galaxies formed, and the processes that mold the universe. Besides looking for life, the James Webb Space Telescope is helping us learn about space. It can take detailed pictures of galaxies, stars, and other things in space. The telescope keeps changing what we think about the universe and what's possible beyond our planet. Looking ahead, the Webb telescope will keep exploring the unknown. What it finds could really impact how we see the universe. As we look for signs of life, the James Webb Space Telescope will definitely be at the front of it. Basically, the James Webb Space Telescope is an age for space exploration. It can see distant galaxies, spot planets, and look for life. The telescope can change how we study space and unlock the secrets of the cosmos. The James Webb Space Telescope can check out planet atmospheres. It is helpful because it lets scientists search for small hints of life on other worlds. It can look at planets and their atmospheres with impressive clarity. By finding things like oxygen, methane, and water vapor, Webb helps us know if other planets might have life. Webb's tech also helps us compare planets with Earth. It lets scientists see planets that might be able to support life. By detailed spectroscopy, the telescope can break down the light from stars and planets, giving scientists info about what these worlds are made of. That helps us see if planets might have environments that could support life, and it opens up ways to research places in the universe where life could exist. The Webb telescope can also focus on infrared light, so it can spot things that were hidden before, like stars forming in dust clouds or planets growing. The Webb's infrared can see through cosmic dust and show us things we couldn't see before. The Webb telescope lets us study how stars live and how galaxies form. Its instruments are made to study the light from faraway galaxies, stars, so that we can decide what the stars and galaxies are like. Another cool thing about the James Webb Space Telescope is that it could show us the early of the universe. By studying light from the first galaxies, we can learn more about the beginning of the cosmos. The telescope can look further back in time than ever before, grabbing light from galaxies that formed billions of years ago and showing us what the universe was like when it was starting out. The info that the James Webb Space Telescope gathers is going to change things for space exploration. Scientists will be able to make new discoveries about the universe. One of the coolest things about it is its huge mirror, way bigger than the one on the Hubble Space Telescope, which has been a big deal for like 30 years. Because the mirror is so big, it can grab even the tiniest bits of light from super far away, even places other telescopes couldn't see. Before, scientists could only guess what was out there. Now, they can see it in crazy detail. It also has some top-notch gadgets that can spot all sorts of light. One of them, called NRCam, takes pictures using infrared light. This is great because infrared light can get through dust clouds, so we can see deeper into space. With NRCam, astronomers can watch stars being born in galaxies. They're trying to check out the early universe, where galaxies come from, and find exoplanets that we couldn't reach before. NICAM shows us how galaxies are put together and how they change over time, which helps us to understand the universe. Another tool, NIRSpec, breaks down light from space stuff into different colors. This tells us how hot things are, how fast they're moving, and what they're made of. NIRSpec lets scientists study stars and galaxies more closely, figure out what elements are there, and see how things interact with each other. It helps us get how stars and galaxies are born, change, and eventually die. One of the telescope's main jobs is to study really far-off galaxies where the light has traveled for billions of years to reach us. By looking at this light, astronomers can figure out how old they are, what they're made of, and other stuff that helps us understand how they changed over time. The mid-infrared instrument MIRI lets us check out things like stars, planets, and dusty areas where stars are being born. MIRI also lets astronomers check out the air around exoplanets to try and figure out what they're made of, how hot they are, and if they could have life. The spots in space where stars are born are really interesting. These clouds of dust and gas block regular light, but infrared light can get through. Because of MRI, scientists can watch stars and planets being born and study what's going on inside these areas. MIRI is also good at spotting exoplanets because it can see the faint infrared light coming from their air, telling us if there's water, carbon dioxide, or other stuff that could support life. When trying to find life on exoplanets, the telescope mainly uses two things: how light interacts with stuff and checking out the air around planets. Even if a planet doesn't have plants or oxygen, life could still be there. Spectroscopy, which is looking at how light is absorbed or given off, is really important for looking at exoplanet air. When an exoplanet passes in front of its star, the telescope can see the starlight going through the exoplanet's air. This light leaves behind clues about what's in the air. MIRI and Enigmatic are used for this. Together, they can see a wide range of light needed to do a good job. When starlight goes through an exoplanet's air, it picks up info about what the planet's air is made of. The telescope looks at these signals to get what's in the air, spotting molecules that might mean there's life or good conditions for it. By finding different signs in the light, scientists can make models to understand the planet's air and climate. One of the main goals is to find signs of life, like oxygen, methane, and water vapor. But finding these things is just the start. They need to do more checking to see if the planet could support life and if there are any signs of living things. Another thing they use is to compare light data from different planets, which helps them figure out if life could be out there. The James Webb Space Telescope can spot signs of life in exoplanet air, which is a huge step in the search for alien life. It's got cool features that let it see distant planets in detail like never before. As scientists keep studying the data, they're getting new ideas about the chance of life on other worlds. It can look back in time and see the early days of the universe. By grabbing light from galaxies that were made billions of years ago, it gives us a chance to see how the universe changed. These observations give us clues about how stars, planets, and galaxies were formed, and how the universe works. Besides searching for life, it also helps us get space in general. It can take detailed pictures of galaxies, stars, and other space stuff, which helps scientists piece together the history of the universe. With every new thing it finds, it makes us rethink what we know about the universe and what's out there. It will keep being a key tool for checking out the unknown. What it finds could change how we see the universe and the future of space travel. As we go further into space and look for signs of life, the James Webb Space Telescope will be a big help. So, the James Webb Space Telescope is a time for space stuff. It can see distant galaxies, spot exoplanets, and look for signs of life, which is a huge deal in order to get the universe. It will away we because of its tools and skills. The James Webb Space Telescope can check out the air around exoplanets, which is great because it lets scientists look for signs of life on other planets. It lets us see planets in their air better than ever before. By finding things that could mean life is there, like oxygen, methane, and water vapor, it helps us figure out if other planets might have living things. It helps us compare planets to Earth and see if planets with similar features could have life. By looking at the light from distant stars and planets, scientists can get at what these worlds are made of. This is important for seeing if exoplanets might have environments that could support life, and it opens up new ways to search into zones where life in the universe might exist. It can also see things that were hidden before, like stars being born in dust clouds or planets how to. It can help us see these things better. These observations give us a better idea of how space are born and helping scientists learn about the things that make the universe. It can see both near and mid-infrared light, which opens up new ways to study the lives of stars and how galaxies are made. It's made to study the light from galaxies, stars, and other space stuff, letting researchers see what they're made of, how old they are, and how they're put together. This will help scientists get how galaxies, how stars are born and die, and how systems take shape. Another thing is that it maybe can show us the early days of the universe. By studying light from the first galaxies that were made after the Big Bang, scientists can get into how the universe started. This is important because it can help us get how the universe is over billions of years and how it keeps changing. The James Webb Space Telescope will for sure have a big on space. As scientists keep looking at the info from distant stars, galaxies, and exoplanets, they'll be able to learn new things that what we thought we knew about the universe. These may make us think differently about the universe, opening up new questions and new for humanities of space. It represents a big step in our to the universe and some of humanity's questions. Whether it's finding new exoplanets, studying distant galaxies, or looking for alien life, it is what we know. As it's happening, we can discoveries that will not are of space, but also our place in it.